One of the ones I'm always curious about, at least in the short term, what's your thoughts about the future of pre-trip, post-trip, the daily inspections, the DVIR? Do you see it as, sort of the truck should return to home so someone's always seeing it? Or you mentioned, I think pilot is the sort of the truck's, what do you call it? The truck...
Truck port?
Truck port. So at there, maybe a pilot person or someone else is doing the DVIR for you. Or, do you think that there's enough tech that maybe down the road you don't even have to worry about, like the truck could do the full DVIR itself?
Yeah, so as I said, there's certainly a lot of health checks that our truck already does,
yes.
Right? It really depends on how much sensors will actually be on the truck in the future. And that's more like an OEM topic than an autonomy topic, right? I think there's certainly a world where you can check everything automatically, right? Everything just by information that is kind of living on the canvas and coming from all the sensors that you have. I think it is there, but I think that it will take some time to actually get to that world, right?
Totally.
So in the meantime, it's really, yes, we see there are people involved. There are people at those truck ports. There can be a pilot person, a Southern Timer person, many other companies that we work with. There can be a carrier's fleet personnel, right, and maintenance personnel that actually does that DVIR, or even might be enhanced inspection trained, right, and actually does the enhanced inspection because that's what you essentially want. Again, that enhanced inspection has to happen once every 24 hours. So you need to make sure that the truck passes a location once every 24 hours where that CVSA trained person is available. Now, those trucks will be on the road a lot, right? So we don't expect them to deadhead back because they need to, get a DVIR or need to get an enhanced inspection. And that's why I always say it is all a network exercise.
Yeah.
And the network exercise is important in order to deploy autonomous trucks efficiently together with our fleets. So we really look at which lanes do you have the volume, the density, and so on, which lanes make sense, which transfer hubs will actually be used on that lane, if any, right?
Yeah.
And then define together with them to make sure, yes, this is actually going to work at scale as well.
You mentioned, having the tech be able to be adopted on any Class 8 vehicle for any fleet moving forward, hopefully moving forward. And that's important because you got maintenance teams, might have their hands on this. Maybe you don't need to have a super specialized tech person managing some of these things. I am curious what kind of training, we're going to go into some of the partnerships in a little bit, but what kind of training do you guys do, whether it's for fleets, maintenance, or drivers, or maybe even regulatory, inspectors and things like that? What kind of training do you guys use or have these people go through?
Yeah, there are many involved. Actually, just to comment on the changing the sensor part, because it's pretty funny. I'm sure you have seen our video when we worked together with Southern Timer on actually showcasing that changing a sensor part is faster than changing a tire.
Yeah.
It literally took 9 minutes. And in fact, this was actually a trained actor, right? So this was not somebody we trained over like a month of, hey, this is how you have to change a sensor part. We trained the actor in the morning and then they did it in the afternoon and just completed the task.
Wow.
So that's how easy we actually wanted to design the system and have really achieved to do that. Now, of course, there is some training involved when it comes to, for example, enhanced inspections, as long as you have completed that CVSA enhanced inspection every 24 hours. That's how it's currently written, right? And those are qualified people. There's a certification, there's a program that we have worked together with CVSA and others on really developing that program. And certainly there will be technicians specialized on autonomy, but really most of the things, right? We don't think anyone will go out and change a LiDAR out of that sensor part, right? Our head of hardware always says, well, if that happens, probably afterwards, many more things are not working than before. So we really believe in that. Take off that one sensor part, put it on again, and you're good to go, right? So there's not much training necessary. But of course, there are kind of level 1, level 2, level 3 support that we will have. We are working there with several service providers where we actually say, so Kodiak will most likely not have, several locations with several technicians all over the country. We mostly want to use the ecosystem, want to work with other companies. And so that's what we are actually doing. We work with them and say, what do we need to train your technicians? Because you already have technicians. They are very skilled, right? But what is it in addition that we actually have to do and work through it with them together? So it's really working together with partners, building this ecosystem of people that are capable of changing things, that are capable of supporting the truck. Also, when it comes to roadside assistance, or whenever the truck has to be towed for hopefully it never happens, but trucks have to be towed for more like engine reasons and things like that. Yep. So we certainly will have trained personnel together with our partners.
The camera calibrations or anything like that, is that something that can be done without a person there, calibration boards or whatever, or is that a relatively simple process?
Yeah, love that question. So one of the things about Gen 5, and we have done this earlier, but really Gen 4, Gen 5 is very solidified that approach. We actually, if you look at our sensors, they are all housed in that sensor pod, right? So there are 2 sensor pods, they are housing all those sensors. All those sensors within the pod are intrinsically calibrated to each other. So everything is, the light is calibrated to the camera and so on. Yeah. So when you have to, let's say, put a new sensor pod on for whatever reason, you actually take off the old sensor pod, you disconnect 3 cables, data and power, pressurized air, water, put a new sensor pod on. The new sensor pod comes pre-calibrated out of the box. You put that on. Nice. It does connect the cables, of course. It does a final calibration to the chassis, and then it's good to go. We actually never before a run have to recalibrate anything. If I talk to our ops team and ask them, when was the last time that you recalibrated the system? They're like, I don't remember. We just don't have to do it because it's such a solid foundation, right? Yeah. That sensor pod is really one unit where all the sensors are housed inside. So this is fundamentally different. And we know, of course, this is a huge advantage compared to some of our competitors to not have to do that. We, of course, check calibrations online, right? Our system, in general, does 1,000 health checks every 100 milliseconds. And those are things like, do I get all the LiDAR data? Do I have any fault code on the CAN bus from the truck? Do I have the right tire pressure? And another one is, do I have the right calibration settings, right? Does everything look correct? So we constantly check it, but barely ever do we have to recalibrate our system, which is, really phenomenal on the approach that our team has taken there.